Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi. Hope you all are doing well. So basically, now today we'll be seeing that how we can just make out the threads with the help of the classes and objects, right? We remember that we had already studied about the classes and objects, right? Now in that case, basically, if you just want to make a thread with the help of that classes and objects, how you will be able to do that thing, right? This is the thing that we are gonna see, and we had already seen that what are threads, what are the problems that occur, and basically we had seen the thread scheduling and all those things in the previous videos, right? Let's basically give it a quick revision, and after that let's start writing out the code, right? Fine here. So this was a OneNote notebook in which we had written out the whole thing straight. That basically what is a thread? So basically a thread is a kind of like a process, right? It's a sequence of control flow, except that it exists entirely inside a process and shares the resources. And then we had seen that basically a single process may have multiple threads of execution useful when an application wants to perform many concurrent tasks on the shared data, right? And even we had seen the example, right? Other than that, we had seen the problems with the threads. The first was the scheduling right here. Then we were having the resource sharing, and at last we were having the synchronization. So these were the three problems that occurs in the threads. And after that we had seen the thread scheduling, and another topic in which we had seen that tightly controlled by a global interpreter log and scheduler. So only a single thread is allowed to be executing in the Python interpreter at once. So this was a very important thing that we had seen, that at one time you can only and only basically execute a single thread on a Python interpreter. Okay. After that, thread switching only occurs between the execution of individual bytecodes. Okay. Then long-running calculations in C/C++ can block execution of all other threads, right? And then even we had seen some things in the comments as well. So these were the things which we had already seen in the threads. Now basically today is the turn that we'll be seeing out that how to write out the program in the threads, right? So it's a type of a program. It's a type of a topic in which whenever you just want to write out this thing, in this case you just need to import a library. Without importing that library you can just not make a thread. Okay, so basically I would be importing that particular library, and that would be my import, and that is basically the threading library. Okay, this threading is another module which we are importing. You do not need to install this on your local devices or devices whatever you are using. You simply need to import this here. Okay, so here I'm just on my PyCharm IDE as well, right? So import, and then I have just written out the threading, right? After this, basically what I'll be just doing is that I'll be making out a class. As I mentioned that we'll be writing out the thread, we'll be making out the threads with the help of the classes and objects, right? So I'll be just making out my class here. So let's say the name for my class is example. Okay, so name for my class is example. And now basically in the bracket I'll be passing out the two parameters here. Okay, the first one is basically my threading module which I had like imported above, right? After that, basically, the next thing that I'll be importing is my thread, the thread that I'll be making here. Okay, just let me write THREAD like this, right? So these are the things which I'll be importing, which I'll be using here. Okay, so this is not a comma, this is a dot. So from my threading module, I am importing a thread here inside my class as an argument inside my class. Here, I am importing the thread module, like the thread function from my threading module. Just understand this step very carefully as it is very important one. Okay, so with the from my threading module here, that is which I have just written here. After that I just put out a dot here, and from that basically I am importing a function, and that function is basically the thread function, right? Let's come on to the next line. And here I'll be defining out my init function as we just do always, right? Init and underscore underscore, and then out the brackets here. So self is automatically passed. Now basically what I'll be just doing is that I'll be just passing out some parameters. Let's say my parameter is a name, comma, a marks. Okay, and I will just come on to the next line here. Fine, so any matter a and a marks are the parameters which I've just passed down inside this function which I had just made inside my class. Now basically I'm just using my threading module here. Threading, that is DING, okay, like this. So threading dot, and I will again be writing that thread. So that is basically with the help of my threading module, I'm just importing the thread, right? I'll be putting out a dot here, and initializing it with the help of the init function, and inside the bracket I'll be passing out the self, because with the help of the self only I'm just going to access all of the variables which I'm having here, right? So I'm just doing that thing itself here. So threading is basically the module which we have imported. Thread is a function, and after that I've just initialized that with the help of the init function, and in the bracket self is passed, right? Now next thing that comes is that with the help of my self function I'll be trying to execute this thing, right? So I'll be writing self dot name is equal to a name, right? So self dot name is one of my variables in which I want to store the value which I have in the another variable which is a name, and a name is an argument which I have passed inside my function, which is def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, right? So this is the whole idea. So self dot name is equal to a name. After that, basically I have self dot, and the next one I'm just having is marks. Okay, so self dot marks is equal to a marks. I'm just simply writing that. Uh, okay, just one second. Okay, I'm just simply writing this a name a marks so that it just basically differentiate with this name and this marks. Otherwise, there is no such hard and fast rule that you just need to write the a name and you just need to write the a marks. You cannot just write these things and something like that. There is no such thing. I'm just simply writing so that both of these things are differentiated a little bit, because if I just write self dot name is equal to name, self dot marks is equal to marks, so that could be a little bit of confusing while understanding if you are new to programming, right? So in that case only I'm just writing this a name and a marks. Otherwise there is no hard and fast rule that you just need to write this as well, right? You can just put it like simple as well, that is simple marks and simple name, right? Okay, that is done. Now basically I'll be defining a function that is def, and inside that let's say def details. Details is my function, okay, details, and in the bracket, okay, in the bracket self will automatically be passed because I had just made this function inside my class, right? So details will be one of like kind of my helper function. So helper function basically what it will do, it will basically help me to execute this name and marks which I have taken here, right? Only this is the thing of it, right? Right here. So let me just write out the print statement, and instead of print, if I just write out return here, return f string, and I just want to add here that basically the, okay, I would just write it like this. The name is, I would write it like this. The name is, and in the bracket I'll be passing out self dot name. Okay, the name is self dot name, and I'll be and marks are, and in the bracket I'll be writing here self dot marks, right? This is the thing which I just want to pass out here. So in that case basically I just written. Now why I have just written the f strings, because I wanted these values, let's say there will be value for any, a value will be a marks, right? I just want both of these values to come here in the between, because I'm just making a proper sentence here. So in that case, basically, I just passed on this f string. Simply, you can just use the print statement as well. That it totally depends on you, that what you just want to do, right? Fine. Now coming out of my class, I'll be making out the objects for this class, right? So, okay, name for my class was example, right? So let's say E1. Okay, E1 is equal to is one of my objects which I just made for my class, and that is basically the example. I will put out the brackets here, and I just need to give a name, right? Let's say, listen, the name is my name itself, that is Shambhavi. Okay, and other than that, basically what I need to pass is the marks. So let's say marks are, let's say 25. Okay, come on to the next line. I'll be writing here another variable, sorry, another object. I'm just making two objects for this particular class. Okay, E2. And here I would be just writing example. And let's say another name is Ria. Okay, let's say another name is Ria. And let's say marks are 20. Right, this is the thing which I've just given on and passed on here. After this, what I'm just doing is that simply I'll be writing here my object's name, that is E1 dot, and I'll be just writing here start. Start is a basically function, predefined function which we have here in that thread. Okay, and after that I'll be just writing E1, E2 dot start, and the brackets like this. Now basically why I am just writing the start, so basically we just like when we just used to write the simple programs in the classes and objects, so what we just do in that case, basically what we did is that we just like write out the print statement, and inside the print statements we just like used to run out the program and call out the function, and we just get out the desired output. So when you are just doing this thing with the same with the help of the thread, so in that case this start is a function which is basically help for printing out the results here. So I would just run out my program here now. Okay, and basically it is giving me like this right here. Okay, now basically what I'll be just doing is that I just returned here, I just not printed. So in that case, basically it is giving me. So let me just write it like this here, print the name is, and I will just pass out my self string inside this. Right now this is absolutely fine, and I'll just close it at the last, because in that case it is return. So return will only and only work at that condition when I'm just passing out the function, right? So in that case only it works. So right here, now just let me remove out this statement as well, because it will not work properly with the print statement. Let me remove that out from here. And this thing as well. Right, so now inside my print statement, I'll be just passing here out the str, and inside that bracket, I'll be just writing, let's say self dot, and I was having marks, right? Self dot marks. Okay, that is okay. And other than that, what I was having, I'll just put out a plus sign here. And let's just give some spaces. After that, again, I will just put out a plus sign. Where's that? Right here. And again, I will just write here str, and into the bracket, I'll be just writing self dot marks, right? This is the whole idea. And now I would be just running out this thing here. So basically, now what I just need to do is that I just need to come out here, and at last I just need to write out print, and here basically it would be \n exit, right? And now I will be just running it once again this side. Fine. So now basically what is happening actually, so thread underscore 1, that is e1 dot start, e2 dot start, and e1 e2, that is absolutely fine. And basically inside threading is done, thread is done, and that is equal to example. Okay, let me just take a look. Okay, example is absolutely fine, and passing out the values is done. E1 dot start, e1 dot e1 and e2 is done. Okay, so basically here I have just one thing to tell you very carefully. Actually, this mistake has been made, but like it is good for me, so that I can just let you know even this thing as well here in this program as well, so that you just do not make this mistake afterwards. See here, actually what I have just written, I have written the function name as details, but here when you are just making out the thread, so in that thread basically we have a rule that you will be making the name of the function as run only. Right, run is a type of a helper function that basically helps you to execute the threads. So other than this run, if you are just trying to write any of the function name, okay, other than this run, if you're just trying to write out any other function name, so that will basically not at all work. That will result you the blank output, as you were able to see previously. So this mistake was made by mistake, and basically it was good for you, so that I can just let you know this thing as well. Otherwise for you also it will basically show you the blank output as well, right? So def run, so you just need to write out the name for the function, that is run only. Other than this, none of the functions are allowed. Let me now just run it quickly here. Okay, 25, 25, 20, 20. My things were Shambhavi and 25. Okay, here I just passed the marks 2 times. So let me write this instead of marks. Let me write this as name. Okay, that is name right here. And now just let me quickly run it once again for now. Right, now basically it is giving me the desired output, and the correct output, that is I'm just getting here Shambhavi 25, Riya 20, and at last I'm just getting here the exit statement which we have actually printed, right? So just make sure that do not write any other function name, that will actually not at all execute. You need to write out the name for the function, that is run, and simply you just need to write out the run. If you are just going to make any function from your side, that will basically not at all, like basically it's not the case that it will show you the error, but that will not give you the desired output. It will basically show you the blank spaces, right? So basically I hope that you have got a clear and a fair idea that basically how we just can make the threads with the help of the classes and objects. So the main thing that you need to keep in mind is that you need to pass out the threading.thread here. After that, you need to make it with the help of the init function, and simply you need to take the name of the function as run, and at last basically it's the same. And here you do not need to write out the name for the function which you had made. Simply if you just want to run here in the thread, so we just write that e1 dot start and e2 dot start. So e1 and e2 are basically the objects, right? And simply here it goes like the start, right? So start are the functions which are held for like writing and executing these things, right? So I hope I just made these things very clear to you, that how you can make the programs with the help of the threads and the classes and objects. So basically in the next videos we'll be seeing some more programs and more methods for the threads, right? So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and take care.